Hi. This is the first time I've tried this, actually talking while I'm out. I might feel like a bit of a fool if someone passes me and sees me talking to my phone, but I suppose everybody does it these days, don't they? So, does it matter? I don't know. Anyway, the other day I was talking to a client and the subject came up of, are you awake? Now this client asked me, I can't remember the exact words, are you awake, or do you consider yourself awake, or something like that. And I thought, what an interesting subject to talk about. And today it just occurred to me I might give it a go and have a little talk about that while I'm walking between clients. Because obviously he's not talking about, he wasn't asking me if I was awake, properly awake, as in have I woken up yet. It wasn't a physical, are you physically awake? It was more of a asking me if I consider myself to be maybe spiritually awoken, spiritual awakening of some kind. So I thought I'd talk about that today, because the thought occurred to me that could really depend on who you're talking to, that question, because we're all different and we're all on different paths, and we're all different stages of this so-called awakening. We might be not even considering that kind of a question, because we're all in different points in our lives. So I thought it was an interesting question, interesting concept, and I shall get back to it and talk more on that later, because I think it really does depend on who you're talking to. So you could be talking to someone who has no idea of what that even means. So depending on your philosophy, your worldview, and at what stage on your own journey you're at, that question is going to be different, have a different answer for everyone. So I'm going to come back to it later. And good topic to talk about. Hi, hello again. Excuse the state of me. It's cold. I'm walking along the seafront. So I look a bit of a mess, but never mind. Going back to what I was talking about this morning, I've been thinking about it on and off all morning at work. So we're in the afternoon now, so I thought I'd come back to it. I'm walking on the front and it occurred to me a couple of things actually. Just look at the pier, look. Walking along the front, the pier's a bit of a mess, look. Okay, so coming back to what I was talking about earlier, it occurred to me that not everybody realises that there is even a thing that you can see the world through spiritual eyes. This morning as I was working, I was thinking about when Jesus was talking to Nicodemus, and he said to Nicodemus that unless he was born again, he wouldn't see the kingdom of God. So if you think about where God lives, his kingdom, it's the spiritual realms, heaven. It's not physical, so you can't see it physically with your eyes. You can only see it in a different way if you have the ability to see spiritually. And so Nicodemus, when Jesus said that to him, was confused. He didn't understand. And he said to Jesus, how can I be born again? I'm a grown man. You know, can't get back into my mother's womb and be born again. So he didn't understand that Jesus wasn't talking about physical rebirth. He was talking about something else. And so not everybody even is thinking about that, seeing in a different way like that. These days, it's spoken about a little bit more. And there's many different worldviews and philosophies that talk about it. So you've got, for example, people often talk about this Kundalini spirit. And the third eye. And people, New Age people, Buddhists, people meditate, things like that, they often talk about this third eye and this spiritual awakening of the third eye. So people do realise that there's another way of seeing reality, not just the physical. So it's interesting. I find it hard to focus my thoughts as I'm walking. I haven't written any bullet points or anything, I'm just walking on the front. So I'm thinking about things like Norse mythology, for example, has many different realms, and they have kind of heavenly realms. There's the realm that the gods live in, I can't think what it's called right at the top of my head. And they see the world, this Viking view, as being all these different 9 realms on a spiritual world tree called Yggdrasil. This world tree and these different realms exist together on the same tree in different branches and roots. The other thing that's interesting about that is that you have the Rainbow Bridge. If you've ever seen the Marvel films with Thor, you have the Rainbow Bridge. And that's in, if you've read my book, The Realm of the Purple Dragon, I used the Rainbow Bridge there. And also wells. So coming back to the well in the garden, you have these wells in this Norse realm that are very spiritual meaning. So you've got these links between the realms and ways of being able to see more than just the realm you're living in. And obviously Odin, this god, he becomes a one-eyed god, doesn't he? Because he wants knowledge. He wants knowledge. So that's very symbolic, isn't it, with the eye? He wants to see. He wants to see a different in a different way. So that comes back to this third eye and this spiritual awakening and all this stuff that everyone's always talking about. And so Jesus was saying, you can't see God's kingdom unless you're born again. So this born again is an awakening. It's being able to see spiritual things. So yes, I'll come back to it again later when I've got home and I've had time to think about it. And I'll leave it at that for the moment.